The new Total Drama Island will be epic. What does that mean? Well, in the latest news surrounding these two new seasons of Total Drama, we learned a few key notes thanks to Jay-Z Productions 26. I will leave his channel link in the description so you guys can go check him out. He pretty much interviews a lot of pretty talented people, like Tom Kenny, and a lot of the Total Drama cast, so that's pretty cool. But in his latest podcast, he interviews Terry McGurran himself, one of the writers for Total Drama, in which he confirmed that they are in fact working on episode 24, and that it should be done by February. Now, because Terry said they were working on episode 24, a lot of people were under the impression that we would be getting one season with a total of 26 episodes, despite the previous news being we would be seeing 2 seasons, in which Terry responded to the confusion on Twitter, clarifying that he meant they were in fact working on season 2, episode 11. In all honesty though, I don't know if we'll ever see a season with 26 episodes again, since it seems lately Total Drama has just been wanting to keep things short and sweet, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, since it should be the same cast for both seasons. So now that we got that out of the way, let's dive in and unpack the rest of this Total Drama information, and even touch up on more ideas we could be seeing in the later seasons. But before we do, make sure to click that like and subscribe button so I know you like my content. Without further interruptions, let's begin. So to reiterate, that's 2 seasons with a total of 26 episodes that should hopefully be done by February. So if that's the case, the next big question will be, when are these new seasons actually dropping? Because I know a lot of people are tired of the small puzzle pieces of information and just want a release date already. And my guess would be now, summer of 2023. Hopefully. Terry also mentions that these new seasons will be epic, more extreme, and much bigger than what we've seen before, which goes back to our question from earlier. What does that mean? Well, given how extreme All-Stars and Pahkiteol was, I couldn't imagine how they could top that in terms of extremeness. I mean, Pahkiteol literally had their contestants build their own shelter and hunt for their own food, but at the end of the day, it's Total Drama. They will find a way. Trust me. Another great thing I was excited to hear was that Chef, voiced by Devin Mack, will have an official upgraded role, perhaps to even co-host, which could explain the design change. I think this is much needed because Chef hasn't really been involved in the challenges for quite some time. I mean, could you imagine an actual more extreme version of Basic Training or Hide and Be Sneaky? Now that would be a real treat. The next bit of information stems from this flyer, which reveals the contestants' names, team names, as well as an updated description of the show. So right off the bat, I gotta say, Ripper and Scary Girl are the first to stand out to me. I wonder if Scary Girl's actual name will just be a running gag throughout the show, kinda like how the Fairly Odd Parents always blocked out Timmy's parents' names through a loud noise of some sort. It really makes you wonder. Now, I won't go through every single character, but it does seem Bowie is one of the LGBTQ characters, while Wayne I'm still assuming is the amputee, just with a prosthetic arm. Millie I could see being like Lashana, basically being everyone's friend, backing up anyone who is facing down the villain. Z I could see acting a bit like Harold, but much more weird. This new Emma, I should say, I see a little bit of Lindsay in her, but not as dumb if that makes sense. Okay, so first off, I gotta say, I love the team names. The Ferocious Trouts versus the Frogs of Death, definitely much better than Team Muskwalk and Gino Sewak, since those names were just straight up hard to remember. All in all, the cast is looking pretty solid, with almost every character coming from a different background. Sure, not every single character stands out, but a few really catch your eye. Quick predictions for a villain, I could easily see Scary Girl or Ripper filling that role. I mean, I don't know, Ripper is just standing there, menacingly.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
One thing I know that won't make a lot of people too happy is Chris's sadistic nature isn't going anywhere, if not getting much worse. As the flyer does point out verbatim, join everyone's favorite sadistic host, Chris McClain. So if I had to point out a con based off what we know so far, this would probably be it, since as I said many times already, I prefer Chris to be more sane and actively not trying to kill his contestants, basically how he acted in the original Total Drama Island. Back then he was a lot more calm, more level-headed, he pretty much felt like a real person, so it's sad to see his insanity grow worse and worse as the seasons go on. Now, getting to something I thought was really interesting was how they stated that some of the cast members have seen the show while some haven't. This is really interesting because you could have some characters use strategies of the old contestants without some characters even realizing it. Take Heather from World Tour for example. Everyone favorited Alejandro at first, and completely despise Heather since they know what she did in Island and Action. As for the lineup, some may have an ulterior motive. I'll let you guys discuss that. Of course, I still think it's very likely we'll hear references to the old cast at some point. Since it's all taking place in the same universe, it would certainly just be a waste for them not to. I absolutely would love to see an Aftermath show hosting the original contestants, giving their thoughts on the newbie strategies, but if that's too much, maybe just a quick cutaway to where they are now. Just something with the old cast, you know? Next, let's discuss the challenges, because TikToking their way out of a piranha tank, that could go really good or really bad. But hey, it's reality TV, so it's to be expected. I definitely am excited to see the drag racing. Always love seeing those. I love seeing it in the Redonkulous race, and I'm hoping I'll enjoy it here. I mean, taking a look at the OG Total Drama Island, the challenges felt simple but creative. Take Hide and Be Sneaky. You had the campers play a good old-fashioned game of hide and seek, but with Chef being the seeker, who will spray you a mile away with his water gun. It's just fun, wacky humor that didn't feel boring but actively entertaining. Baking Battle certainly sounds intriguing. Maybe this time it will be a much more intense version of If You Can't Take the Heat, where maybe it's a cooking competition side by side, down to the wire kind of thing to serve Chris the best meal possible. If so, I'm in. The flyer also points out we'll be seeing more confessionals, which is great to hear. It's always good to hear the contestants' thoughts and strategies. Hopefully they don't overdo it though, but I definitely agree seeing a bit more confessionals would be awesome, as it gives us a pretty good idea on what their next move in the competition will be. I mean, could you imagine seeing Eva 2.0's, or sorry, Axel's confessionals on who she's going to take down next, or maybe Damien trying to escape the shark-infested water? It's all going to be such a wild ride. Sure, Chris is still sadistic, but hey, at least they're going back to basics on good old Camp Wawanakwa with a brand new generation of contestants. Who knows, maybe it will be a much better version of Pahkitew Island, where the new cast is actually likable and interesting, in which they still have near-death challenges without it feeling out of place. As for the future of the show, it would be really cool to see a season on Boney Island, having one long season with 26 episodes again, as unlikely as that is, or if people wanted to see a revival of Action or World Tour, maybe find a way to combine both elements into one season. I just think that would be super interesting. Overall though, Terry's main thing is to have everything be more epic, more extreme, and much, much bigger than everything that's come before now. Whether it be the challenges, Chef being promoted to co-host, disgusting camp food, it's all going to be on much higher stakes to win that $1 million prize. Other than that, what do you guys think of the cast so far? Will you be watching this new Total Drama Island, or are you only sticking to the original? Let me know down in the comments. Alright viewers, that's the end of our list. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that like and subscribe button, it would really mean a lot. And with all that said, I look forward to seeing you with our next list.